I'm trying to fix the rug because he likes to eat all the ends, but he kind of gets in the way sometimes. Stop. You're kind of a problem, you know that. Welcome back to the worm. It got cold again, so we're back in the cabin, which is not as much fun to sleep, but it is convenient. It's more convenienter in here. Right? Yeah, eat it. Eat it. It's hard to figure out which projects to do because as the weather changes this time of year, you decide what you had in mind isn't worth doing anymore and you switch to something else, but there's a couple things that need doing. When it's hot in the summer, you can't sleep in here. As you know, we've been sleeping mostly in the tent, but ow, you got some sharp little toes. This place still needs to be used. I use it in the mornings, mostly when it's really hot, to do my editing. So I got a screen door for this place. I've never hung a screen door. I don't expect it's going to be a big deal, but we're going to put that in here. The other thing we have to do to get ready for a hot summer is figure out what to do with the gazebo. That's where I spend the hottest days for, it's, you know, usually like 5 or 6 weeks. It's too hot to do anything. But as you know, it's floor to ceiling screens. Just wimpy screen comes right down to like 2 or 3 inches from the floor. He can't go in there when it's like that. So I got some rolls of much tougher stuff. Remember, I call it the bow-legged gazebo because the corners, I got these really bowed logs to put in there because I thought it looked cool. It looked like the roof was squishing the whole thing down. But it's going to be really difficult to attach more screen to the I don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to figure it out though. Either we figure it out soon or the gazebo can't be used and we'll be really screwed this summer. Well, I think the rain is done for today, so we probably better go out and do some stuff. What do you think? Meat brain? I think we're at the end stretch of these back issues I've been having. I think it's been like on and off for like maybe a month and a half. So all the big projects I've been wanting to work on, I just haven't been able to, or I've been a little bit skittish to try. If I remember right, this was all spurred off by, it wasn't by cutting trees or lifting hundreds of pounds in logs. I think it was right here I bent over to unclip his leash from his collar and it was like electric shock, muscle cramp. Now a month and a half later, it's still trying to cool down. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully there's nothing too heavy to lift today, although heavy lifting doesn't seem to be the problem. I love your lion paws, buddy. Yeah, go ahead, chew it right off. We've got issues. Come here. Come on. It's the weirdest thing. You guys have seen he loves laying in dirt and rolling around in the sawdust pile and all that stuff. So when he comes in the cabin, I keep this little brush here, bring him up here, brush his whole body down, and then he can go in. And a few days ago, I was brushing him down just like this, had my backpack on with my water bottle on the side, bent over, the water bottle fell out, made a loud noise. He yelped even though it wasn't close to him, ran down the stairs, and now he won't come out of the cabin unless if he's on a leash, no problem. He walks out, doesn't know the difference, or if I just put my finger under his collar, he'll walk right out. Same thing, even worse, going back in the cabin. I stand up there, call his name, he comes right here and he whines. Even with his favorite treats, he won't come up the stairs. And if I come down with a leash and try to clip it on him, he runs away like he's afraid. But the second the leash is clipped on him like that, he'll just walk right back up the stairs. It's a very strange problem. I'm not sure how to fix it. I've tried putting treats all up the stairs. He'll go really tentatively up, eat one, his legs are shaking like he's terrified. He'll get up like 2 or 3 stairs and then back down. But I bring him out before I go to bed at least once in the middle of the night and I clip a leash on him. We walk right down, right back up, no problem. Anybody ever heard of this happening with a dog? Anybody know how to fix it? And where did he go? Kuiper, come. Oh. Hi, buddy. Right behind me as always. We got to go down and get the rolls of screen stuff and the screen door. So let's see if he'll ride in the trailer down there. He won't fit in the trailer on the way back up. I'll just have to put him on the back seat. first, but let's go down and look at the gazebo, see if it's even doable. He's keeping an eye on the load back there. How old are you now? 4 months? I think he just turned 4 months. He's very, very mature. Unless you need him to go up the stairs to the cabin. What a nutball. Getting heavy. I'm guessing that the vast majority of you have seen the bow-legged gazebo before. I built this over the course of, I think it was like a couple years, although it was mostly one summer. I think it was like the first summer I was out here, maybe the second, was dying out here, you know, only being in a tent. So in the hottest part of the year, I rushed out here, cut trees, made the frame out of logs. I think we even put the floor on, didn't we? And then the temperatures cooled down in the fall, and I left it till the next summer to do it, you know, build all this when it was crazy hot again. And the idea was for the screen to go all the way from the tip top to the bottom with as little obstructions as possible. Oh, he's running back to camp. Kuiper, come. Look at him go. He loves these treats. Good job, buddy. Good job. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, these were leftover scraps that I'd milled up. And we just put them on the floor, screwed them down to the floor, and then stapled the screen to the outside, and then the outside of these. It's kind of hard to tell from in here, but those are really, really bowed. And this construction is great for hot human beings, because when you stand here, you can just feel the air go through it. But dogs, I think it would only take one time of him. He likes to, he does this thing where it's in between sniffing and he doesn't really bite anymore. He just takes his nose and he shoves you around. And I think if he did that once on any of these screens, he would just pop them out. So I'd considered taking pet screen and putting it on this, tucking it back in here and stapling it, but it's such long runs without support, I think that would still rip it out. And you could even use pet screen along here on the inside of these. Of course, the attachment here is going to be really bizarro. But putting a second layer of screen that's half the height of this, I think will cut down on the airflow, so I don't know, I'll show you what I bought. There you are, buddy. I'm a little more worried now. As he gets older, he goes a little bit further away from me when I'm just screwing around doing stuff like this. And if you guys saw the previous video where Tito and I went out and got the skulls, there's one porcupine skull that we got, and then an entire deer skeleton that's actually right there on top of this sky deck. Kuiper and I were out for a walk and he sniffed them out. The porcupine, I knew it was there when he had a quill stuck right in his nose. So best case is he goes out a little bit too far, finds something that'll either make him sick or he'll get full of quills. And the worst case is, did I show you? I think I showed you one clip on one of my trail cams, the Bobcat. Well, check this out. I got an even better clip. And this was just like a week and a half later. So he's somewhere right around here. Crazy, right? That dude's pretty yoked. Is that what the kids are calling? I don't know. I live in the woods. I don't keep up on the lingo. But I prefer he didn't get in a tangle with anything like that. So I got 50 feet of this, which I think is just enough. What do they call this? Galvanized hardware cloth. I like it that the holes in this are small enough that claws or anything aren't going to get through, but it's not like normal screen. It's big enough that I don't think it's going to impede the airflow in the summer. I don't think it's going to be tuckable back on the other side of this in here and then stapleable, because this screen that's on here is flexed. Like I had to move it in three-dimensionally and kind of stretch it all tight. That's not going to happen. You're right. Quit planning, quit thinking. Let's go put the screen door on first. If I was the kind of guy that would be easily driven nuts by something, this would be it. I built basically every single piece of this cabin with a chainsaw. From the feet this thing is sitting on, to all the flooring, to the siding, the actual 2x4 framing, the roofing, everything is made with a chainsaw mill. And you know what? It fits together. I think the only thing in this cabin that I didn't make were the windows, bought used, and the door. The door might be the only part of this cabin that I just went to the store and purchased new. And now the second thing, the screen door. Just stick the bottom in there, pop the top in. Oh, really? Really? The two store-bought pieces of the entire building don't fit together? Both 32-inch doors. Yeah, always make everything with a chainsaw by yourself. And then when it doesn't fit, you can't be too pissed off, because one, you probably don't know what you're doing, and two, you don't know what you're doing. So if it doesn't fit, you throw the piece away, you use it to you know, make a campfire, cook your hot dogs, remake the piece, modify the piece, and eventually it all goes together. What are you supposed to do about this? Can't rip the door frame out, can't rip the door out. There's about 10 inches that don't fit in the frame. Since this is vinyl, it'd be kind of hard to shape this down. I don't know how thick it is. Actually, maybe it would be easy. Maybe I could just take a planer over the edge of that thing. It would kind of suck if I popped through it though. So of course, you go for the trim here, because that's wood, but what kind of tool do I have that will get that? Don't worry, you guys, you just sit there. I'm gonna go dig through my tools, try to find something that'll work. You know, there's some jobs you just can't beat a jiggle saw, you know? Does anybody know what these are really called? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's jiggle saw. That's the right tool. Ha! I know, I'm feeling it now. I shouldn't have bitched. That was not a big deal. I just got this like weird shiver, bizarro feeling just now. Thinking like, what am I actually making a video of? This is, I don't know, this feels very cosmopolitan. I don't know what that word means. Very suburban, like to be working on stuff that's prefab that you bought at the store. Just forgive me, this'll be over soon and we'll get back to the chainsaws. Guess we gotta rip that handrail off of there. Who built that? I'm starting to wonder if I've always been this impatient. Like, I want to hang this door up, but I never painted the frame. Now I gotta caulk it, and then I gotta wait for it to dry a bit. Then I gotta paint it. Probably should be 2 coats because there's some raw wood there. And then hang the door, and I don't know if I can wait that long. You're in luck. I decided that it wasn't right to make you watch caulking and painting on surviving ringworm, so I did it. You can just know it's been done and we'll move on, okay? Anybody remember which part of this was in the way? I think it was this. Kind of cool that these have the springs in them. Never owned a screen door before. Is this the way it's supposed to go in? I assume the pretty part goes out. Kuiper is gonna mess this screen up. I'm positive, of course. And I've got that metal mesh. I'm sure I'll have a couple feet left over that I was thinking I'd put on the bottom of this door. Maybe I just let him destroy it, and then I pull the whole piece of screen out and put pet screen in there. That might be the way to go. Otherwise, the metal mesh would just have to be attached down here, so I'd actually have to screw in a whole bunch of times through the vinyl. But I'd have to do the same on the inside of the screen, because I'm sure he's going to scratch to get back in the cabin or to get out of the cabin. Doesn't even rub. Look at that. It really ties all 189 square feet together, doesn't it? Got me a screen door and a handrail. because I am fancy. Cabins are supposed to have a screen door that slams, aren't they? Every cabin I've ever been to sounds like this when you close the door. Yep, let's leave it. It's kind of in the way of the handle, but that'll be all right. Whammo. Now the $1,000,000 question is, if I was going to do this all over again, would I still buy doors or would I build them like in the man cave? I think it's the one thing that I would still buy. Windows too. I mean, it's nice to have windows that slide with screens, not just buying like a piece of glass and doing them frontier style. It's nice to have doors that close tightly. I would definitely buy used windows, and I'd buy a used door too if you could find it in the frame. There's so many used doors out there at like secondhand stores, but you do have to kind of know what you're doing, or take the time to look it up. But you can't be a absolute jackass and build a nice door frame where everything seals. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe you can. I'm not gonna do it. Oh man, there's whole bunches of deer flies down here too, right on the camera. I need to go probably make a trap and bring it down here. Kind of blows because I can't take, this is my only bug shirt. I can't take it off because these things will murder the back of my head and my neck. And wearing it while I'm working with that stuff is going to totally ruin this shirt. I'm pretty sure of it. Alright, enough complaining. I really don't know how to put this stuff on or how this could even possibly work, but let's just cut a piece and see what happens. I think I'm going to have to make some wood frames for these things. So I brought down what I have left of this. I'm still not sure if this was a pine or a spruce. It was dead standing from a long time ago. We've used a little bit of it, but it's just a slight bit. I wouldn't call it rotty, I wouldn't call it punky, but it's just not as strong as a fresh cut tree. So I set it all aside, and this is exactly what I use it for. Something where there's no structure involved. Actually, this one's quite a bit rottier than the rest. I would call that punky and rotty, but it doesn't go all the way through. Since we've got solar panels this time of year, I'm going to try to rip these all up with a battery-powered circular saw. We go through a lot of batteries, but it doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to make 2x3s out of these just to stretch it. I think that'll work all right. He's still a little skittish about loud noises too. I think if I start up the chainsaw, he won't stick around here. He keeps taking off over there, finding sticks to chew on, and then the bugs come after him. I could watch him for 10 minutes straight, just sitting there watching the bugs fly around and trying to eat them. That dude is a good laugh. Hey buddy, sorry to wake you up, but you gotta work hard to get all 5 cups of this in you in a day. Hungry or still too sleepy to eat? Yep, too sleepy. Dude has to wake up. You got a real rough life, buddy. God. Always, always, always dirty. Smells like somebody's been eating worms. There's a couple spots, actually a bunch of spots, where these need to get trimmed back so I can at least get the frame up close to this. It's not going to like lay flat against it. Ideally, I'd like to take a chainsaw and cut a flat edge on that, but the screen's in the way. Who built this thing? Gosh. Okay, so we're going to take bets. When I went up last time, I meant to get a piece of steel, or I don't think I have any really thin wood. I'm going to use the wiggle saw to cut these off, and really I should put something back here because you have to put a little pressure on it, and you just know you're going to pop through and go right through the screen. But because I'm dumb, I'm just going to do it. Oh, you only got like 8 pieces left. Come on. Oh, eating the flies again. He's pretty good at it. Oh, we're not even going up that high. Huh. Look at all the work we just saved. Thinking. Don't hit the screen. Look at me. Real finesse guy. I don't know if I'm very proud of this. And there's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. But it is what it is. It's very sturdy. That's a plus. I don't think dog feet can get to the real screen. And with 2 or 3 screws, you could take the thing off and you could actually clean these screens, although it's been a couple of years and I haven't done it. But it would be nice to be able to do, especially since all sorts of crap and bugs can fall back here. All right, we're just gonna keep going. I still think it's easier to make a square frame than it is to try to attach this to this that's not straight, especially on this edge. But you're not gonna get dog feet back there, I don't think. Feels so weird to be at the worm working without a long sleeve shirt on. I really, really enjoy it. Makes a big difference when you frame a floor like this with logs versus lumber. You can see this is sitting on top of one of the logs. That was probably like that when I built it, but it might have settled or shifted a little bit. And there's quite a lip there. Oh yeah, I can see I had to carve this out just to fit this in there, so it's been like that for a long time. If that wasn't there, I could pull the nails on this board and route the whole thing down, make it fit flat. Doesn't make a difference though. I just carved this thing out a little bit to fit in there. Don't tell anybody. We got to steal part of the kitchen. That lumber I ripped up didn't go anywhere. We need about 3 or 4 times that much, and I don't really want to mill anything right now. That's like another day project to find the logs and drag. You know how all that works. So I'm going to steal a couple boards from the kitchen project. Whoa, look at the color of this stuff growing on the tarp. It's usually green and gross like that, but check this out. It's like Kool-Aid. Wow. Yep, you're right. We're gonna have to put some of that under the microscope. Oh wow, I thought it was strings. It's just free floating powder. Crazy. And a dirty cover slip. Is that something of nightmares right there? Just a slide full of sticky flies and bees. And you gotta look at that stuff, and then you can't throw it away. You might need it later. Oh man, there's so many good bugs here. I feel like all I do all day long is get sidetracked. But I don't have my jar. One thing at a time. 3 things at a time, that's it. We've got still more of these same fir spruce boards, and they're long and they're kind of screwed up. That is exactly what we're looking for, and there is a lot of it. That should do it, and we didn't use a single piece of pine. So I don't feel guilty. Do you feel guilty? I don't. I don't. Word. We got both sides, 2 sides done, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4.5 more. It's been a little bit of a trick since nothing is plumb in here. Trying to get these plumb and still fit them in there right. And then because everything's settled, the floor's not level, so do you level the top? I just decided I was over trying to make it perfect. Just did everything by measurements, goes together fast. The first one over there took like a day, and the rest of these took maybe an hour a piece. So let's do these big back ones before we use up all the long lumber. Oh, now remembering how I built this thing, so this somewhat supports the roof. Well, I guess it does support the roof, and I can't remember why I offset that. Does anybody know? Oh yeah, because that's where one of the logs is right there. We wanted it sitting on top of it rather than just on the floorboards. So let's do this long one. See if that one top beam there is enough to support it so it doesn't get pushed in. I think it'll be all right. I don't know if you remember from the episode where I tried making all those weird fly traps out of solo cups and blown up rubber gloves. Deer flies don't come out until it's 71 degrees, so I don't have to have my shirt on. Ooh, that was close. Is it dead? I think that's going to keep the fingers, feet, paws, whatever they're called, off the real screen. What else can you do? I think that's it. It is a little bit flexed. It's hard to get really tight, so there's only like an inch in between there. The other way to do it would have been to put the screen on the inside, the inside of the place. But then you'd see the edge of the screen, which is not all square and all the staples and stuff. So I don't know, we're just going to go with it. The rain's coming, so as usual, I'm skipping lunch. Somebody riddle me this. I like to get him stuff to chew on. Pardon? Oh, you like stuff to chew on. I like to get him stuff to chew on that lasts. Like all the commercially made products, you know, he can just chew them up in no time. So I get him like these weird tendons and bones and stuff like that. Is it just me? Or do so many of them smell so bad you can't be in the same room? Did you want this? I don't understand. He started on this one a couple mornings ago and I had to put it away. It stunk so bad. But you don't mind, do you? Maybe you do mind. You don't want that? It's a delicious beef tendon, I think. Wow. Okay, even he thinks it stinks. Well, I'll just leave it right here. You can decide for yourself. Something tells me you're gonna, you'll eat it. It's not even so much just that it stinks, but he uses his paws like giant clumsy hands and gets that crap all over his legs. First time I gave him one of those stinkers, I was like, oh man, what is that smell? I realized what it was. I put it away, sat on the ground, and he came up to me, and I looked at his legs are just coated in spit. And I wondered if it was gonna stink like the treat. I smelled it and like started gagging. It was so bad. But I've tried 11 different brands and different parts of animals and stuff, and about half of them are so gnarly you don't want to be around them. It's a good thing you're not very discerning. You don't like my work? For once, maybe not once, for thrice, I can actually work when it's raining. I rushed hard last night just as it started sprinkling to get all the wood cut, and then came down here and got it all put together. So we've got screens all the way around as of this moment. We just have to do the door and that's it. You smell like a wet dog. Do you know that? Anybody ever tell you that? Kuiper went to the vet for his vaccines a couple days ago. He once again gained 13 pounds in 28 days. Pushing right up against the half a pound a day, which I think is really impressive. Apparently that's normal for Bernese Mountain Dogs. And amazingly, just like when he was born, he was the runt. He's actually behind the average male Bernese Mountain Dog. He's gaining weight at the right speed. He's just like 5 or 10 pounds behind. They're not fully mature until they're 2 freaking years old. Isn't that crazy? They grow until they're 2. I just hope he's gonna be this tall and just a bear. No, it's very important that you don't waste too much energy running around or being cute. You just gotta put it all into growing huge. Can you get to at least 5 feet tall and 360 pounds? Because you're too little right now. You're not even good looking. Look at you. Horrible, just horrible, horrible. And mean, so mean. He is, he's just not, he just doesn't show it when he's on camera. He's bad. Ooh, just a gnarly creature. Well, that'd be easy enough to put on. The only issue is this little barrel adjuster. I have to do it constantly. Throughout the seasons, everything swells and shrinks and moves around. If I put the screen on here and staple it all down, then this isn't going to work anymore. What you could do is, instead of stapling it all on with a million staples, you could put screws with like washers that held it on there, and then the whole thing could slide a little bit. I don't have those right now. I mean, they're like tens, if not hundreds of feet away, and it's drizzling, so look at this guy. Is that good water, buddy? You know there's a full dish right over there you were just drinking from. That's okay, you don't have to be smart, you just have to be big. I see, you're saving energy. Ooh, you smell like rotten beef bones. It's like no matter what you're doing, as long as it's not too loud, he's leaning up against you. It's horrible. You wouldn't want this. It's not good. There's enough mosquitoes in here from opening and closing the door, and I'm not putting bug spray on today. I love the smell of the original Thermacell pads. I still can't figure out exactly what it is, and now they're making more and more pads like scent free or like, I don't know, dirt scent or earth scent or something. But when they're scent free and you don't see the smoke, you can't always tell if it's on, because sometimes you'll light it and it'll go out for some reason. So I've been trying to figure out what exactly that smell is, because I reload these pads myself. You know, you've probably seen like a while back how I do it. Mix permethrin and water, and then if you want to put a scent in it, some food coloring, and then you spray it on, let them dry. And the closest I've got to the smell is lemongrass and Palo Santo. You get the little tiny bottles of the oils, and I just put a tiny bit on there. It's not quite right, but Smells pretty nice. Did I just say something about not putting too many staples in? Well, we're already this far, we might as well keep going. Does it work? Haha! There's still enough play that it works. Fantastic. Well, that's sweet, isn't it? It's pet proof, at least dog proof. I don't know, like maybe when I get my mountain lion it can get up above those. I don't really want to teach him to jump up on these, but I do want to see if it works. Okay, come here. No, you're sitting too far away. How am I supposed to use your paws from way over there? Okay, here we go. Here's the test. It works! It's like, what the hell are you doing, you psycho? The real test is someday when Sarah's other dog, Violet, is calm enough to actually have up here. She'll be the one that'll... She can actually... I bet she'll jump up and grab those top screens. I don't know that he's ever really going to jump up. I mean, at some point I'm sure he will, but his paws and toenails probably aren't going to be the problem. I bet it's going to be his nose. Yeah, that's pretty nose proof. Let me feel. Yeah, that should be good. I just realized we didn't teach him anything this week. What should we teach you? We could do it right now. Ooh, that looks like a tasty bug. Ah, see, now you can't get to the bug. He's on the wrong side. Oh, that'd actually be a perfect test. Get it, buddy. Get it. Get it. He's watching it like it's TV. It doesn't take much to entertain some of us. He sniffed it so hard. It was actually hanging out of his nose. You are disgusting. But he makes me laugh. I got an idea. Something he needs to learn soon is to stay. So let's teach him. He knows sit really well. How long do you think it'll take? My guess is 1.5 minutes. Forgot we had this whole bag of puppy treats. This is perfect. Piper, come. Sit. Stay. Stay. Oh. Piper, sit. Stay. Stay. Oh. Sit. Stay. Nope. Stay. Is anybody timing this? Stay. He's gonna try all of his tricks. Lays down, lifts a paw. Stay. Stay. Oh, stay. Stay. Okay. Good boy. Think he can do it the second time? Oh, don't you get into the treat bag. Come here. Sit. Stay. Stay. Okay. I think we're at 1.5 minutes probably. That was only twice. Let's see if he can do it on the third. Sometimes he gets things on the third try. Sometimes it takes him 4 tries. Stay. No. Stay. 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 Okay. Stay. Okay. Oh, I don't know. He might have rushed that one. Okay, I won't make you watch it all. I'm going to practice for a couple minutes. But I won't lie to you on how much time passes. Okay, I turned the camera off for 4 or 5 minutes. And I have a real problem. He's learned when I give him a bone or something that I'll have him sit, and then I'll have him lie down. And then I'll give him one of those stinky bones, because when he's in the cabin, I want him like on one of the rubber mats and not on that t-shirt rug or anything, because it makes the whole cabin stink. So I tell him to sit, he sits, and then I say stay, and as I move it away, he's like, okay, what are the rest of my tricks to get food? And he lays down, and then after a while he just starts getting frustrated. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about this for a while. I was definitely wrong on the 1.5 minutes, I can admit that. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next Saturday. What are we gonna do next week? I know. Well, we've got a couple different things. If the weather's nice and it's warm enough, we're gonna take down the hanging table finally. Gonna replane, recut edges, varnish everything. Oh, epoxy it, fill those big holes with epoxy, and then all the add-ons too we'll do at the same time. Or we'll get started on the doghouse, which I'm about ready to do. The last couple nights I let him sleep just out in the cabin. I mean, he's been house trained for who knows how long, a month and a half, so that's not really a worry. And he sleeps so much of the time on his back with all legs like splayed out. And he could do that in the crate if he laid long ways, but he's a little loop-de-loop. So I think he's getting a little bit too big for the crate. We have to get rid of that, but we could get started on the doghouse. We do have to do a bunch of milling for that. I think I'm going to use that, oh, sorry, did you want that? After we put that portable winch on the back of the four-wheeler to pull logs onto the trailer, just playing with that portable winch, I think I do want to attach that to the tree and then make that big old yard arm thing, the winch to go through it, pick up logs, and then swivel it onto the sawhorses. I think that'd be, even if it's not necessary, which it's not because I built all this stuff without it, I think it'd be a really fun project. So I don't know, we'll do that. We'll do something. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Saturday. You stink. You stink, but you're so cute. God, you're so cute.